Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to all of the witnesses. I just want to start by thanking you. I know the work that the Federal Aviation Administration does is very critical to the function of our nation, and I appreciate the dedication shown by each of you for choosing to serve your country through public service. And as someone who flies regularly, I am personally invested in this, but also the American public writ large is as well, especially as there have been challenges in some of our major airports, and I hope you look at members of Congress as your partners and allies as we look to find ways to improve our aviation safety and our networks. Last year, President Biden signed into law the bipartisan FAA Reauthorization Act of 2024, which is the reason why we are here today, and I am pleased to report that through the bipartisan negotiations of the bill, several of my requests were adopted into the final language that was signed into law. Chief among those requests was to increase and expand the airport improvement program, for which this committee appropriated $4 billion, and this amounts to about $650 million annual dollars in increased funding for the program. The bill also changed the airport improvement program's apportionment formula to increase funding for small and mid-sized airports, such as the Akron-Canton Airport, which I frequent regularly, and this is funding that the airport desperately needed. Grants from the airport improvement program ensure regional airports like Akron-Canton are able to complete terminal developments, projects that address aging air infrastructure. In fact, CAK was fortunate to receive $3.6 million for fiscal year 25. Because of the investments from this program, Akron-Canton and other regional airports across the country have made significant improvements to their facilities that are essential in our communities and ensuring that regional airports remain a vital part of our network. However, given some of the administration's tendency to freeze funding and in some cases end it, I have some concerns about the longevity of the airport improvement program and the reliability of the funding. So Ms. Baker, I'll start with you and then move to Mr. Hybeck. Have you heard of any changes being made to the eligibility criteria, and if so, what are those changes?
I'll go ahead and let Mr. Hybeck answer.
Yes, thank you, Congresswoman. So as part of reauthorization, you are correct. In fact, there were several changes precipitated by the legislation to the benefit of smaller airports, both in the small airport fund. You mentioned one of them, the state apportionment allocation was changed so that there is now more in the state apportionment. To answer your question, I am not concerned at all. As I indicated earlier in my testimony, we are moving forward with the entire $4 billion in the airport improvement program. We thank Congress for the increase of $650 million. The reason you haven't seen grants there yet is there's a process you go through to get your apportionment from OMB, and we now have that apportionment, and we are programming grants, and we'll be moving forward with the program.
Great, that's good news to hear. Section 624 directs the FAA to submit a report on the process by which air traffic control towers are chosen for replacement, maintain and publish what needs to be replaced and what has not. Akron-Canton Airport has the distinction of having the oldest air traffic control tower in the nation. The elevator breaks frequently, requiring staff members to take the stairs to the top. It is not ADA compliant, and there's only one entrance and exit to the tower. Akron-Canton Airport Tower is not on the list that is maintained by the FAA. I looked it up as recent as today. It was updated May 15, 2025. With all of those things that I stated, what do you have to do to get a new air traffic control tower if one like the one in my district is in disrepair as it is today?
That's a great question, ma'am. I know that we get that asked a lot. We have a lot of towers that are 60 years old, 50 years old, and they're old and they're antiquated. There is a formula that produces a total composite score, and that's how they are prioritized. We take a look at line of sight from a tower. Basically, if you're an air traffic controller, can you see the entire field? We take a look at the age of a tower. We take a look at the overall facility condition of that tower, as well as the total amount of operations. And from that score, it's how it becomes prioritized. We have a list. I'd be more than happy to share the list with you, and hopefully that'll share, where it is on that ranking list.
Thank you very much. I only have a couple of seconds. I know that there was some language that required some compliance and a report on employee assault and prevention plan. In the very limited time I have, can anyone provide us an update on that?
I have to go back and get the specifics. I believe we have gathered the information, and I believe we've provided a briefing, but we can certainly get back with you on that.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields, and I recognize Mr. Mann for 5 minutes.